Hello? Is this thing on? Shane here. Don't know if this is working or not. I don't know. I'm not as hip as I used to be, I guess. Not hip to the Facebook Live world, but I did want to come out and get back into the live world and kind of I was talking with a buddy earlier and just kind of looking at some things and saying, how we've been generating seller leads, right? So there's been a lot of changes with Facebook over, I guess going back even into, we started doing this, towards the end of the summer last year when Facebook started getting rid of a lot of their demographics, being able to target homeowners and certain, income brackets and that sort of thing. And it's been quite a ride. I mean, there's still some ways, of getting around that on Facebook. If you have audiences that you've created over the years or that sort of thing, to really generate, those leads on Facebook. But what we've been doing a lot is utilizing going back to Google. Google still has a lot of that data available, and not only, for specific targeting, but also for bid adjustments and that sort of thing. So basically I was going to run through today something that we've been doing, and that's taking a lot of our Google buyer campaigns, and we're essentially paying a premium for people that Google knows are homeowners. So I'm going to run through a little campaign on that today and kind of see what we can do. Let's make sure that everything's running here. Seems to be working. So let's see. Do I know how to share a screen here? We're going to find out. Screen 3, share. That looks good. So what I'm in here now is, the Google Ads Manager or whatever. I'm going to kind of do like a simple campaign like I normally would for buyers. So I'm just going to kind of run through kind of quick. If anyone has any questions on any of this sort of thing or how, we structure those buyer campaigns, by all means. But I really want to get into the meat on this and kind of focus on the seller side of this, since that's what most people are normally looking for, right? Sellers. But at the same time, I do want to generate, this really high intent buyer traffic, right? People specifically searching on Google for homes for sale in a given town. And then I'm basically just going to pay a premium if they're homeowners. So this is kind of cool. I'm just going to run through. I'm going to use website traffic. You can use, leads if you have those sorts of things set up on your website. But the simplest, website traffic, search network. I am going to be using my friend Ada's website today. So we'll type in adriandoyle.exprealty.com. Campaign name, we call it River Edge Buyers. And this is going to be a buyer campaign on Google, basically targeting people who are searching for homes in River Edge. But, there's kind of two schools of thought, right? It's that, people a lot of times will start their search off saying, we've always done these, what's my home worth type campaign for sellers, right? Oh, but as a homeowner, you're more likely to go in and type in, homes for sale in my neighborhood, right? Or in my area, whatever town I live in. I live up in Oakland, right? Homes for sale in Oakland. And that's normally how I'm looking to see, oh, okay, well, what are things selling for in my neighborhood? I'm more likely to do that as a homeowner than to go and say, oh, what's my home worth, And not to say that the what's my home worth campaigns don't work, but what ends up happening with a lot of those is I get a lot of addresses and, even the people that register, they tend to be more wishy-washy. What happens here is like I get, first off, I'm getting, that front, the additional benefit of generating buyer leads, right? So I'm generating really high intent buyer traffic, but also then paying a premium for homeowners in the area, which allows me to get more listings, right? Partner sites, I'm not a fan, but do what you normally do. I don't do Google Display Network either. I'm kind of old school with that. What I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to target. So I want to be, I'll do a radius around River Edge, New Jersey. I'll go 20 miles. Not even. Maybe I'm going to bring it nice and small. I'm going to do 5 miles around River Edge, New Jersey. I'm going to bring that nice and tight. I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to get rid of New Jersey. So I know that anyone that comes in via this campaign is going to be in an area where, we'd be willing to take a listing, right? If I'm within that 5 miles of my main hub there, my main focus town, I know that, I'm looking for people who are searching in that area. And I might broaden that to something like New Jersey if I was really more focused on the buy side. But this campaign, I really want to hone in on that, on the seller, and I want sellers in that area. Languages, English sounds good. So right here, audiences is where I'm gonna make that initial selection, right? And when I click there, it'll pop down with those audiences. Kind of gets hidden there, but I'm gonna do browse, and now I have two options, right? I can have targeting, or I can have observation, right? So if I only exclusively want homeowners, right, and I want to be exclusive, then I would opt for that targeting. But I am going to keep that on observation, and I'll show you why in a little bit. Because I don't want to only target homeowners. I do want to target those buyers as well. Maybe they're renting or things like that. So I'm going to keep that for observation. But I'm going to say who they are, right? And I'm going to go here to homeownership status, and I'm going to select homeowners. Now, a couple other cool things that I add in here just to generate higher quality buyers. So I'm going to say, what are they actively, searching? And I go here to real estate, and I'll go to residential properties, and I'll go to residential properties for sale. And those are just for observation. They just allow me to look at those. But then, down the line, I can actually adjust bids based on these things. So I get them set up there. My budget here, look, if you're getting into the Google game, I go with big budgets, not to say that you're going to spend all that, but depending on the size of the area that you're looking in, you are going to want to use a pretty big budget just to kind of get your campaign up and running. And your cost per lead is going to be significantly higher than it was on Facebook, but you are going to generally get a much higher quality lead than you were on Facebook. So it tends to be worth it. I'm going to bid on clicks here. Maximum cost per click. I'm going to do, I'll do $4, but I'm not going to spend $4, but I'll put it in there and adjust it as I go. I normally, on most of these campaigns, I'm running somewhere around, 70, 80 cents a click on a lot of these with, 7-8% click through. So I'll keep it there for now. Blah, blah, blah. Extensions, I'm just going to skip over for now, and I'll add some extensions in as I go. But right here, new ad, right? So my final URL is going to be here. I'm going to do a lot of copying and pasting here just for the sake of time. But basically, this is just a regular squeeze page from KV Core that is going to go directly to those properties in River Edge, right? So that's a KV Core squeeze page. Final URL right here. Boom. Put it in there. My headline here, I'm going to do headline 1. I'm going to do River Edge, New Jersey homes for sale. Headline 2, listings updated in real time. And realistically, they probably update every 15 minutes or so, but whatever. Most accurate online search. And I mean, there's a million different things. I'm just, kind of throwing this together real quick just to have, something up. We could go on for days about ad copy and, kind of things that work. But this ad copy tends to work pretty well. When people see it, it tends to get a decent click through and that sort of thing. And basically, the whole thing with ad copy and creating ads is like, just give people what they want. Like if someone's searching for something, make your copy match their search. You know what I mean? Give them what they want. Make sure that when they click on that they're actually going somewhere, right? So this is very specific. Someone's typing in, homes for sale in River Edge or whatever. They see my ad copy, River Edge homes for sale. They click on that. It's a list of homes for sale in River Edge, right? Don't give them, some, BS run around. Oh, click here and send them to some website that's just about you and oh, I'm a realtor, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares, right? Give them what they want. River Edge home search, whatever. I can put whatever in there. Description, finding Your new home has never been easier, I'll say. Search all currently available homes. Description 2. Browse current listings. Set up alerts for when new listings hit the market. Okay. Done. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, save and continue. Oh, I should change that. Well, whatever. What are you talking about? Invalid. Let's see. Sometimes I copy and paste these things and it, I have them on another thing and there's like a space in there that I don't know about or something. So I'll just pop that in there now. Now let's try. Done. Save and continue. No whammies. All right, there we go. So this is where you get your keywords, and Google tries to trick you into getting like a ton of keywords here. Look, I'm keeping this simple, right? I'm not trying to get crazy here with my keywords. And look, we could do a whole nother live on keywords and targeting and that sort of thing, and get super complicated. And it is cool. There's a lot of guys that do amazing things with keywords. I'm not that bright, so I'm doing homes for sale in River Edge, New Jersey, and houses for sale in River Edge, New Jersey. And I might add in, some additional ones depending on how the ad campaign, is going. But I'm keeping this all broad, right? So that means, I'll get like random searches that have home, sale, and things like that in there, and I'll get that. And if it's too broad, I'll narrow it down. And if it's not broad enough, I'll expand it. But for the sake of what we're doing here, not really focusing on the ad ad creation itself, I'm just kind of breezing through this so that we can get to the juicy stuff here and what we really want to focus on. And that is right here, right? So now I'll change this to River Edge. I normally name it after the town, right, that I'm in. And so when I'm in here, right, this is where it gets fun. Now, when I go to audiences, right, where I set up those audiences, this is where it gets kind of cool, right? So there's those audiences that I selected before. And these are based on what Google knows, right? So Google's pretty smart. They know a lot more than I do. And I could have used these for targets, but I used them for, observation. So there's two things. One is this is that Google knows that they've been on other property search websites. And right here where I get this little edit, I can increase or decrease my my cost per click, or what I'm willing to spend on that click. So like I said, if I have a campaign that's running and my normal cost per click is 70 cents, say, right? And I'm saying, well, you know what? I'll pay 70 cents for just some random person searching on Google. But if Google knows that they're a homeowner, I'll pay $1.40, So then I raise that. So this bid adjustment is going to allow me to raise up my maximum bid based on who these people are. So I normally sit somewhere around 100 to 200% on that. Since I am focusing mainly on homeowners, I'm going to go up 200% on my homeowners, and I'm going to go up 50% on people who have been on other properties. So that means that these people are active searchers, and they're running around and looking. So that's pretty much, this is where our main goal is, right? So that I'm saying that if someone goes on to Google and they search for homes for sale in River Edge, New Jersey, I'm willing to pay X for that, for my ad to show. If Google knows that that person is a homeowner, I'm willing to adjust that bid up by 200% and pay more essentially for that view or that click, which essentially then will bring them to that search. They'll register the same way a buyer would, but I know that I'm going to get more homeowners that are looking. So I'm either going to get a lot more of the people that are either need to sell something in order to buy it, or they're the people, the nosy neighbor that just wants to see what's for sale in that neighborhood. That's pretty much it there as far as that's concerned. I am going to pop here. Let's see here while I'm babbling about nonsense. A couple other cool things here as well that have been kind of filling that Facebook disappearing demographic dilemma, we'll call it, right? In that I can no longer run Facebook ads or as easily based on income, right? So if I am using this as just a straight buyer campaign, what I'm going to do is I'll pull some of these lower incomes, right? Maybe I only want to target, higher income. Some campaigns, if they're broader, I don't even do unknown. I only want people that are in that, top 11% or top 20% income for that given area. That becomes super effective, especially if you're in an area where the home prices are a little higher. We do some business in some areas that the home prices tend to, they're hot towns. Everyone's looking, but you get a lot of renters and that sort of thing as well, which from the mortgage side, yeah, sure, maybe they'll buy something 10 years from now or 2 years from now or next year, I don't know. But I really want the people that are ready now. So we will, I will kind of adjust those to focus on those higher income levels. Same thing with age, which, you could still do on Facebook, but I do tend to get rid of the 18 to 24-year-olds. Not to say that they're not going to buy a house. They're just, I'm going to max out my ad spend most of the time. So I really want to focus on only, the nitty gritty, the people that, I know are more likely to engage. Now with something like this on a seller, I might want that 65 and over. On the buy side, I tend to go more in that, 25 to 55 bracket, but you never know, like I said, and if you have this like huge budget and you're not depleting it, then by all means do what you want and spend that dough. But for my purposes here, this tends to be, what works. Now, while I'm in my ads manager here, nobody's watching, and I'm just, kind of building this out anyway. So maybe 1 or 2 people are watching. Who knows? I'm not that entertaining, I'll be honest with you. But another thing here that helps these ads perform a little bit are extensions, right? So I have some pre-extensions that are on all the ads I do. Download the Bond Street Mortgage app there, calculator. It is actually pretty cool. Super hard to get people to download apps. It's not as easy to get them to just click something. But our app is pretty neat. It's a pretty robust mortgage calculator. If you go to bondstreetmortgage.com/app, probably it'll or mobile app/mobile app, it'll get there. I'll throw a link in the comments or something maybe, but that's not why we're all here, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pop in a couple site link extensions. And site links basically are what show up on your search. They're kind of those extra links that show up when you're in that #1 spot. So I have a pretty good, good luck with adding them in there. A couple that I use pretty frequently just to, let you guys know is, one is I'll do my under 500, right? So I add that in as a site link, and this will be, River Edge homes under 500K. Homes under. On your new home, whatever. I'll just throw in. A lot of times that description doesn't even show up in the ad itself. Another one that's big is I have these links to open houses, right? So the cool thing is if you're using, I know Conversion does it and KV Core does it. A lot of the other, services and stuff do it. But basically, if I'm using a service that I know that my website, that these links are kind of dynamic, so this link will always be good. This link will always show me the open houses in River Edge. So today, since it's only Tuesday, there's not that many listed, right? But on Thursday, this same link will show me all the open houses in town that weekend. So whenever you're doing stuff like this, it's good to keep in mind, make sure that you're using links that don't expire, right? Sometimes the link is specific to an individual list. These links are specific to the actual search itself. So when I say open houses this weekend, I know that link will always work. I never have to change it. So these are a couple. I just, normally, and you can get really wild with these. And I do have, some campaigns if I'm, have some time, and I just kind of fall into this thing. But my other one is just listed, right? So that's just my newest listings, right? And it's always fun to kind of keep this, I got to get only so many characters. There we go. See the most recently listed homes. So those are three that I use a lot. That just kind of adds that in a little bit. There's a bunch of different stuff. Maybe if people care about this sort of thing, I'll kind of get some more in-depth Google type stuff going on. But for right now, that kind of does it for me. Let's see here. Can I? So basically, as just a recap of kind of what we went through today, what we're trying to do is substitute out where we used to go to Facebook and we used to be able to target things like income, home ownership, and that sort of stuff. And now we can't. We're now doing that stuff on Google, which at the end of the day, honestly, Google is going to be way higher intent than Facebook anyway, right? So nobody goes on to Facebook and says, well, hey, let me grab my phone. I wonder if there's any houses for sale. No, doesn't happen. Now, not to say it doesn't work. It does work because you can, put stuff in front of people who are predisposed, right, or likely to want to view houses. Maybe they've been on one of your websites, or maybe they've been on Zillow or Trulia or that sort of thing. But they didn't go on Facebook for that purpose. People go on to Google specifically to look for something, right? So when we're targeting those people that specifically went to Google, they typed in homes for sale in River Edge. Now I know that they're a homeowner, boom, and I'm going to pay that at that added bonus. Now when they come to my website and they register, I am that much more likely to get a seller, right? So my script on something like that when I call people is, hey, noticed you were looking at some homes on my website in River Edge. Do you own a home in the area currently, or were you thinking of moving from out of town? Let them talk. Super easy way to generate seller leads from a buyer campaign. And we could go on forever about setting up different campaigns and that sort of thing. But for me, my time is up. I hope this was helpful. It was wonderful to see everyone. I haven't been live in a while. Some people might notice I've moved to the basement. So living the dream, man. I tell you, I went from upstairs with no pictures on the walls that got turned into the nursery, and now I'm down here with my growlers on the wall and a little floating airplane. So it's been real, guys. I'll see you soon. Behave.